Good, yeah, that's not right. Let's fix that. There we go. Good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Mid-Atlantic Volley League Spike Magazine Trophy. We're in the penultimate week of regulation here in week number 8 of 9, and we've got game 2 of our triple header up tonight. It's going to be a redo, a game that ended in a bug where the coaches agreed to replay it. We're going to have the NC Snakes versus the Dream-A-Wish Foundation. Move versus Nick Satan. We got Dark Elves versus Halflings. Let's take a look at the standings before we take a look at the two teams. That's right, Ajax. We're in Division A for this game this evening. MAML Nightmare, coached by Festoon, currently in first place. They're a necromantic horror team, undefeated with a record of 5 left to play in regulation. The NC Snakes are up tonight. They're in second place, fighting for one of these top 2 spots, also undefeated with a record of 5-1-0. That's Moob's Dark Elf team, and the Tizork Savage Boys, they're up later this evening. That's Tizzle Bizzle's Orc team. They're in third, also undefeated with a record of 3-3-0. Over in Division B, the Pip Stars are in first place. Dead Fred's Lizard team in the lead with a record of 5-1-1. They are followed very closely by BB Nuts Believe Broncos. They're a Nurgle team. They are currently 5-1-0 with the Pip Stars down. And the Odin, the Norse team, Odin Snuffle, coached by Clypheus. They're in third place. They are 4-2-1. And in Division C, the Goodest Boys Strike Back remain in first place after their first loss of the competition just a few minutes ago. That's Old Gamer Mike's Necromantic Horror team, sitting very, very pretty here at the top of the leaderboard with a record of 4-2-1. They were followed by the Fishy Fiends, coached by Ajax. That's a Chaos Renegades team. They're 4-1-1. And Philosopher's Song, coached by Spire. They're in third place team. They're a Lizard team. They're 4-0-2. That's right. The Orse team, Norse and Snuffle. Ajax says, hey, that's me. The home team for this evening will be the NC Snakes with 11 on the roster. That's going to bring their team value to 1,420,000 gold. They have both Witch Elves on the roster. They have all 4 Blitzers on the roster and a bunch of Linos as well. 1 Apothecary, 7 dedicated fans, and 3 rerolls. Festoon says having some deja vu here. Yeah. Yeah, me too. They're going to be up against the Halflings of the Dream-A-Wish Foundation, coached by league champion Nick Satan. He has a roster of 14 for this Halfling team. That's going to bring their TV to 960,000 gold. That's 460,000 gold in petty cash. Going to the Halfling team tonight, we saw a surprising pick in the first attempt at this game with the inducements. We'll see if Nick Satan sticks with those inducements or not in this matchup. They have both treatment on the roster. They have a hefty and then a whole bunch of linemen, 3 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. How do these two teams play against each other? Well, the NC Snakes, they're a Dark Elf team. They're going to run this ball all around these Halflings. The Halflings are slow, they are brittle, they are frail. This Dark Elf team is going to have no problem punching them in the face, especially with 4 Blitzers. They're pretty resilient themselves, unlike a lot of other Elf teams. They have AV9 across the board, except for the 2 Witch Elves, of course, but that's fine because the Witch Elves are both Blodger. Oh, they are not. They are not. Black Mamba number 2 is the only Blodger on this roster, or the only Witch Elf Blodger on this roster. Sidewinder does not have the block skill, but that's fine. They have the wrestle skill. So block saves you from both down, wrestle saves you from both down as well, and actually knocks down your opponent. So that's perfectly fine. Lots of block on this roster. This is a team, when you're up against a Halfling team, you are the bashy team, right? You are the Halflings. Ajax says, boo, no assassins, boo. I haven't seen an assassin on a Dark Elf team in a while, in fact. But yeah, so this is you are the bashy matchup, unless you're like Snotlings or another stunty team. And so you want to murder Halflings. That's your job. Murder the Halflings. Watch out for those treemen. You don't want those treemen to be able to just walk freely down pitch. You're probably going to have to sacrifice somebody to keep them locked down. But otherwise, you just try to murder Halflings. You murder Halflings, you win the game. You will probably lose at least a reroll a turn. We'll talk about why that happens in just a few minutes here. But really, no tricks in this matchup for this Dark Elf team. punch the halflings in the face, you win. The end. That's the strategy. What do the halflings have to do against this Dark Elf team? The Dark Elf team has a ton of speed, right? They have those 4 blitzers with the block skill. There's only 1 player with the block skill on this roster, and that's Sponsor Eleanor. Now, they do have 2 treemen. Their game plan, at least on offense, is to get these treemen as far down pitch as possible, so that when it's time for the inevitable throw teammate, you can make that as safe as possible. It's, you know, passing is always risky, so having to do the long pass and, you know, land on your feet and maybe dodge and do a couple of rushes, you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So you're trying to move those treemen down pitch, so you can maybe get away with a quick pass. If you can't, of course, you're always trying to run the ball, and if you can. But the trick, of course, is that these treemen can get tied up pretty easily, and their nega trait is they take root. So every time they activate the roll of d6 on a 1, they take root. Now, these are not loners. They actually play with their teammates pretty well. And so that means that Nick Satan, starting with 3 rerolls, will pick up a few more with the Halfling Master Chef, can keep these treemen moving, can keep them moving. They also have Timber because they're so necessary on this roster. If a treeman gets knocked down, they only have an MA of 3. It costs 3 MA to stand up normally in the game of Blood Bowl. If you don't have at least 3 MA to stand up, you can stand up, but you have to roll a die. It's a 50-50 die roll, a 4+ to stand up. Timber allows you to get assists on that, so you can make it more reliable to stand up, because these halflings rely on these trees so much. He's going to have to move them down pitch as far as he can and then fling a fling to get a touchdown. On defense, it's really just about staying alive. These guys are all stunty. They all have the dodge skill. They can get to where they need to be. He has 2 players here with sprint. That's 3 spaces of rushes instead of 2. And Ralph, the number 8 halfling, also has sure feet. He can re-roll a failed rush. So he can definitely get to where he needs to be. And just try to harass these elves. Maybe try to get some tackle zones between them and the end zone. Keep your players alive as much as possible. You're going to do that by grouping up your halflings. You have a ton of them on your roster, but of course only 11 on the pitch. So you do have to be mindful of how, you know, when you're looking for those 2 die blocks, are you pulling players out of position so the Dark Elves can just run around the other side of your defense? It's always a risk, especially because you have such low movement. But those treemen can be a factor again there. They can just chuck an artillery halfling down pitch and get him to where he needs to be, maybe even knock out the ball carrier. It really comes down to the inducements for this team. I think for 460k, for my money, I would pick up Griff. Griff with a MA of 7, strength of 4. He has block, he has dodge, he has fend, he has sure feet, he has sprint. A fantastic star player that leaves 180k left. Cindy Pie Whistle for 50, 100k for the Halfling Master Chef. Remember, they get the discount. Instead of being 300k, it's 100k, and then 30k left over maybe for a coach. That would be my pick. Nick did not pick that first time. Nick picked up Ivar Eriksson the first time. We'll see if he does the same here tonight. But I think, I mean, I think Griff is the pick. Griff and Cindy. But we'll see what he picked up here in the inducement phase. So he ended up picking up. He's got the chef, of course. You always want the chef with a halfling team, which I'll explain in just a minute. He picked up Ivar again, so it's going to be Ivar and the chef. So Ivar Eriksson here, star player with tackle, block, guard, has a strength of 4, has a once per drive ability called Raiding Party. Oh yeah, Ajax the Riot says adds 2 on Griff. Yep, adds 2 on Griff as well, and a decent passing stat at 3. It's not a 4, right? It's a 3. But anyway, Ivar Eriksson here has Raiding Party. It's a once per drive ability where Ivar, when he activates, he can actually move a friendly player within 5 spaces, 1 space. So long as that player starts unmarked and ends up marking an opponent, he can move a friendly player within 5, 1 space, and then Ivar can continue to activate. There is a bug in this game and this is what caused the first game to end, to be reset. And that is where if you activate Ivar, and let's say you here, let me draw it. Let's say Really? You can't hear me? You can't hear me at all? Oh, okay. I might have... Oh, we've got a prayer to Nuffle. It is the blessed statue of Nuffle. Praise be his name. So somebody's picking up pro, and that is going to be none other than Snake Plissken himself. So he gets the to reroll a die on a 3+. Ball's kicked to the opposing 6-yard line. Here we go. I don't know how far I got into my Ivar bug explanation. Let me know if you didn't hear any of it, and I can re-explain it. Blitz on the line, 2-9 block. Gets the knockdown here against Fievel. Breaks armor. There's the first removal of the game. You're going to see this a lot against this halfling team. Didn't hear a word about the bug. All right, I'll explain it again. Explain this. Come on. This is not the. This is not the replay, but still, it's pretty cool. All right, so the reason this game got reset is because what happens is, so here's Ivar. So Ivar has a once per drive ability called Raiding Party. What that allows him to do is he can activate a friendly player within 5 spaces of himself, so long as that player is unmarked. That player can then move 1 space to mark an opposing player, and then Ivar can continue taking his action. So imagine you declare your blitz. You declare a blitz with Ivar. Let's say Ivar by clicking on your target rather than using the button. Whoa. Rather than using the button down here, right? Good armor break by the tree. So let's say you declare the blitz, and it auto-paths your blitz to, let's say, here, right? So you're going to end up in this space. You trigger Raiding Party, and let's say you had a guy here, and you move him into this space here, right? Then Ivar will take his blitz. If you used Raiding Party to put somebody within his path, he will still enter that space. It's illegal, of course, but he'll enter that space with the person that you use Raiding Party with. There'll be 2 pieces in the same space. Shortly thereafter, the game will crash. So the way we ruled that is that since it's completely avoidable by the players, it's illegal to trigger Raiding Party, whether it's intentional or not. So it is incumbent on Nick Satan to really be sure that if he's going to trigger Raiding Party, that he doesn't run afoul of that bug, or else he'll forfeit the match to the NC Snakes tonight. NC Snakes on their own 8-yard line. BBNet says they need Ivar's Raiding Party to work like shadowing where it resets the play. Yes, indeed. Or whatever. I don't care what the fix is, but something. One thing we didn't mention is that this halfling team has a lot of sneaky gets on the roster. So this is another way they can try to even the odds here. They know they're going to lose players. If they can get a knockdown, they can bring a sneaky get from basically anywhere on the pitch. They have 3 on the roster. You can see he spread them out wisely. If he gets a knockdown, he can go in for the foul and try to remove players that way. Blitz by the Witch Elf. Frenzy Blitz gets a push into a Frenzy follow-up here. Double skulls on the follow-up. Spends the only reroll he has. We didn't even discuss this either. I said I would, and I didn't. Good removal. 2-man player advantage now for the Dark Elf team. But the Halfling Master Chef, before the first turn of a half, if you have the Halfling Master Chef, he's cooking up something delicious. The smells are wafting through the stadium. You roll 3d6. On every 4+ you roll, you will gain a reroll, and your opponent will lose a reroll. So Nick Satan picked up a whopping... He started with 3? He picked up all 3 rerolls? That can't be! He picked up all. I mean, it can be. I can see that's the case. He picked up all 3 rerolls with the Master Chef. So it's something you have to be mindful when you're up against a halfling team. It's not often that you lose all of your rerolls, provided that you're carrying at least 3. But it's going to change the odds on your plays significantly, right? If you're down to 2 rerolls or 1 reroll, now that reroll is going to be really, really critical. If you're down to no rerolls, now your odds are very, very different, right? A 75% chance of success gets reduced to a 50% chance of success. So you have to be very careful. Hank the Ranger says, as a commissioner, if Nick is losing and intentionally causes the Ivar bug to happen to prevent the loss, will he kick himself out of the league? Knowing Nick, I think he might. I think he might kick himself out of the league. Lots of elf dodges to get behind the defense. Turn 2 for the Dream of Wish Foundation. The offense has the ball in the hands of that blessed Nuffle Pro player, Snake Plissken, over in the left wide zone on the opposing 2-yard line. Clivey says, all right, so weather should be scorching heat now that you're here, Hank the Ranger. And Nuffle wills it. That's right. Sponsor Eleanor repositions to take a mark on Taipon number 2. That's the rookie elf lineman. Fails the rush on the tree, spends the reroll. One of the 100,000 rerolls to mark 2 elves downfield, Corn number 2 and Rat number 3. Rupert version 0.2 desperately scurrying into the secondary here to try to set up some semblance of a defense. Look at Ivar just doing calisthenics. Like, what are you doing? 39 seconds to go here for the Dream of Wish Foundation in turn 2. Here's the blitz by Ivar. 2-die blitz on Cottonmouth number 2. This is a both standing result unless one of these rerolls is spent. Spends the reroll, can't get through the loner roll. Ivar is only a loner +3, not the typical loner +4, but still rolled a 1. I was going to say snake eyes, but rolled a 1 on the loner roll, so has to take the both standing result. Dream and Wish Foundation down to 4 rerolls. Turn 3 now for the Snakes. Frankleton version 1.2 is going to eat a block here. Got the pal by Cottonmouth number 2. 7+ breaks armor on these frail halflings. There it is. Another removal. 3-man player advantage right now for the Snakes. Frankletron tried to be a hero. He said, I could take it, coach. I've been training. I've been lifting weights. Better luck next time, buddy. Two assists for the 3-die against Mickey version 0.2. Gets a push out of this. Going to try to surf this halfling lineman off the pitch. There it is. Very well done by Moob. 4-man player advantage now for the Dark Elf team. Oh no, another Kaz here. He doesn't get the 2 SPP for this because it was a surf, but that is a permanent removal from the pitch. Warmaster says, the humanity! Snake Plissken. Snake Plissken's going to casually move down to the 16-yard line. So the Snakes here, I can almost guarantee that they're not going to stall this game with a 4 players removed from the line here, and being the quote-unquote bashy team in the matchup. I think they're going to go for every single touchdown they can grab here in this matchup tonight. Festing says, seeing Moob get this this SPP is making me really nervous. Moob is super good as it is. Indeed. Indeed. Snakes currently in second place in their division. And the Snakes currently second place overall this season with a record of 13-3-1. They have a TD diff of plus 20. And again, the Dream of Wish Foundation, coached by Nick Satan, the current league champion. Dream of Wish Foundation finally gets a removal here, down to a 3-man player advantage for the Dark Elf team. Only a KO, though. Blitz by the other Treeman. Sponsor Patsy on the 2-die blitz. Got the pal against Moccasin. 8+ breaks armor with Mighty Blow. No armor break. I really like those dice. Ajax the Riot says we need Dream a Wish to bring this team down a little with some broken necks. I dream a wish. And my wish is for elves to break every bone in their body. I don't hate elves at all. I have our repositions to take a mark on rat number 3. Here's the foul by one of the sneaky gets. I think it's 2 assists? 3 assists on the foul. Gets the armor break, does not get called off. Gets stun out of this. The other sneaky get was removed from the pitch. Good 3+ dodge by Tiny Tim version 2.0. Oh, that's a sad story and a name. Tiny Tim version 2. Snakes can score at any time here. Going to set up to take some blocks. They get the assist for the 2-die. I'm sorry, for the 1-die against Ivar. They're going to take it as a blitz instead to get the 2-die out of this. And they've got the knockdown. Looking for a 9+. No armor break. Minute 8 on the clock here for the Snakes. They're in solid control of the ball here. Just looking to beat up some more halflings. Try to increase their player advantage as much as possible. And then push this ball into the end zone. So they've set up some tackle zones between the halflings and the ball carrier right now, which is always good practice, but also these halflings are so slow. There's such a significant speed advantage for these elves. They have a +2 MA speed advantage on these halflings, so they can really just sort of dance around the pitch. Final turn of the first quarter coming up. The Dream of Wish Foundation have been on defense. They've lost 4 players permanently in this game. They're going to start the turn off with a blitz. 3-die blitz against Coral Reef, looking for an 8+ here to try to even the odds. Couldn't find the armor break he was looking for. Now has the assist for the 2-die against Rattler here. Well done by Nick Satan. It can be so hard with these stunty teams to really find those 2-die blocks in an effectual manner, right? It's obviously easy to pull guys in on the assist, but to leverage your blitz to get a 2-die or a 3-die and to move them into position so that they're an assist for another 2-die and chain that along can be tricky to do when you're strength 2. Another foul here. Got the removal. Well done. Unfortunately rolled doubles. It's going to get called off the pitch here unless he successfully argues with the ref. The refs having none of it. The refs having none of it. Calls Tiny Tim version 2.0 off the pitch. Turn 5 for the Snakes. So it's a 3-man player advantage still for the Dark Elves with 5 permanently removed halflings from the pitch in the first quarter of this game. The second quarter begins here. Now the halflings in a little bit of trouble here. I mean, they still have a full bench, right? They've got 4 players. They can refill this roster with all but one of their lost players, but not in a great position to stop this score. And need to be careful that if Moob decides to spend this time trying to punch the rest of these halflings, that could spell real trouble for this team. Looks like Moob might be trying to free up the Witch Elf to go do some work. Yeah, so shifts over to the right side here. This frees up Black Mamba number 2. This is the Blodger Witch Elf. Oh, not going to do some work. Just going to pull in and stall this out for a turn. El Marino says, I would like to request that many removals for my opponent in my game tonight, please. Where shall I deliver the petty cash? If you don't know where to deliver it, then I can't help you. We don't offer those services. But if you do know, it's appreciated. Turn 5 now for the Dream of Wish Foundation. They're going to mark Coral Reef, who failed to dodge away on the previous turn. Remember, these trees can only move 2 spaces without rushing. Ivar Blitz. 2-die Blitz with a strength of 4, double pals. Looking for a 9+ against Rat number 3. Another foul coming up here. 1 assist on the foul. Doesn't get any, oh no, he did. He got a stun out of this. Turn 6 for the Snakes. I am surprised that he's stalling this out. I don't think it's necessarily a bad decision at all. Blitz to start the turn. 2-die Blitz against Rupert version 0.2. That's the sneaky get. Does not break armor. Good 2+ dodge by Coral Reef number 2. Will this be the end of the turn? It may be. Pulls in Black Mamba number 2 to cover the front left corner of the cage, just to make that a tighter cage. That'll be the turn. Turn 6 now for the Dream of Witch Foundation. Down so many players, I can't imagine he's going to threaten throwing a halfling. I'm not sure what the Dream of Wish Foundation is going to do in these final turns, other than maybe just group up and try to save some halflings. Oh, he's going to go. He's going to press on. Takes a mark on the back of the cage right now. Pulls in a player for an assist. Jimmy version 4. There's been 4 Jimmys. Jimmy version 4.0 on the back left corner here. Trying to prevent the assist for the 2-die against sponsor Eleanor. or even the 1 die, but so trying to force us into the end zone to give the Dream and Wish Foundation as much opportunity as possible to score. 2 die blitz by Ivar Eriksson. Gets the knockdown here thanks to block. No armor break. Ivar has 1 space? 2? No, he has plenty of spaces left. 3 spaces left. Ivar dancing around the pitch, showing off to the crowd. Another foul. 1 assist on the rush foul. No armor break. Sneaky Git will not get called off the pitch on that armor roll. Boy, I can't remember the last time I saw Treeman near the end zone. Turn 7 for the Snakes. Festoon said, glad he moved Ivar back. I'd have been looking for the surf. Yeah, you got to be careful with these Witch Elves. These Witch Elves have Frenzy. And Frenzy means that if you're within 2 spaces of an end zone, you can get surfed if you're not careful. Galeshi, welcome to the stream. Galeshi, realizing what El Marino wrote, said, hey, wait a minute. Nothing personal, it's just business. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about. And I would never take money to rig the game. 55 seconds to go for the Snakes here. Move deciding if they're just going to put this ball in the end zone or if they're going to stall this out for 1 more turn. Regardless of how many turns are left for the Halfling team, they will be able... they have an opportunity to score with the 1-turn touchdown by flinging a fling. They can toss a Halfling down pitch and score in a single turn. Snakes with no rerolls for this half due to being distracted by the delicious aromas of the Halfling Master Chef. Pulling in for an Ivar blitz. NZ Snakes on the bonus clock. We're down to 6 minutes, 50 seconds. 2+ dodge for the 2+ Ivar blitz. Gets the knockdown here. No armor break, though. With no one left to defend, I think he's just going to score at this point. He wouldn't dare shift to the left, would he? Oh, he's not going to score. He's going to stall this out till turn 8. 2+ dodges around this tree. Well done. Repositions core number 2 to take a mark against James version 3.0 and Rupert version 0.2. I wonder what the methodology is behind this versioning scheme, this semantic versioning scheme. Dodged away Copperhead and reconsidered the move. Took a mark against Sponsor Eleanor to prevent Sponsor Eleanor from repositioning to get the advantageous mark after the blitz on Snake Plissken. Turn 7 for the Dream and Wish Foundation. They have a Halfling next to the Treeman. The Treeman now marked, however. Not going to be a throw teammate. Instead will be a both standing result, probably. Looking for the knockdown. Got to push instead. May as well spin the reroll. Why not? You have 100 of them. Move deciding where Copperhead's going to sidestep to here. Sidestep's not on a block. Normally you push a player back. You push a player into one of the spaces behind them. So you would push here, here, or here. But sidestep says, actually, you can go into any adjacent open space, and it's the coach of the block player who gets to decide. .37 seconds left in turn 7 for the Dream and Wish Foundation. Stand up blitz by Ivar Eriksson. 2-die blitz gets a push against Rattler. Spends a reroll. I'm so scared by these rerolls. I would want to save them for the one-turn attempt. Now 1 die against Rattler. This will be a push. Repositions for a 1 die against Coral Reef number 2. Got the POW here. Fishing for some SPP here. Looking for a casualty. Trying to even the odds. Doesn't get an armor break out of it. Turn 8 now for the Snakes. They can walk the ball in. They have no rerolls left, so I imagine they may do just that. There it is. 1-0 the score. The Snakes take the lead with a very commanding offense. Very well done. Snakes are going to get back 1 of their 2 knockouts. Dream and Wish Foundation has no one knocked out, so I think they're going to be at 10. It'll be 11v10 or 10v10 on the pitch. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that'll be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10v10 on the pitch. 1 turn left in the half, unless of course there's a timeout. But the Dream and Wish Foundation doesn't need it. They can attempt the 1 turn here, and that is why Moob is setting up right here rather than back here, because he knows that a throw teammate pass is it can only go up to a short pass away. That's your quick pass. That's your short pass range. Cease was the Telestrator of Doom. Let's see if I just murdered someone. 4 on the line for the offense, 3 on the line for the defense. Brantley and Ralph back to try as 2 players to attempt to score here. Needs to keep at least a couple of players back to receive the ball. They're not very fast. A pass is a once per turn ability that needs to be saved for the throw teammate, which means the only way to get this ball into the hands of one of these potential scoring threats will be via a handoff. Nuffle has a sense of humor. Nuffle has a sense of humor. So Dream and Wish Foundation is going to pick up a reroll, and it's a touchback. So Ralph will have the ball. No need to pick it up off the ground. No need for the handoff. I think Nuffle's saying something. What he's saying, I don't know. Clears. Sponsor Patsy for the throw teammate. Here we go. Move says, what was that kick, you dumb witch elf? Electric Span says, can't they scatter forward beyond 6 squircles? The halfling? Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna scatter 3 times. But the pass can only go up to 6. Taking the blocks here. Didn't break armor with Ivar over on the left side of the pitch. Don't foul! Don't do it, please! Don't tempt fate like this! There we go. Here's the pass. Needs a 5. He's going to spend a reroll. Couldn't land on his feet, and that'll be the end of the half. Good attempt here. Very good attempt, but couldn't make it work. 1-0 the score. The Dream of Wish Foundation will be on offense to start the second half. So a very similar position as the first game. I don't think the Dream of Wish Foundation was down quite so many players. C says Nuffle often uses 2-word sentences ending with you. Offset anchor for the defense. Now the offense to set up their line. Dream of Wish Foundation, still not quite in a bad spot. We're not going to see how many rerolls they grab until after the kickoff. Halfling Master Chef cooking up something. Will it be as delicious as the first half? All right, so a staggered formation here on offense. Here's the kick. Wow! Wow. Boy, oh boy, what a difference. So Jerry version 2.0 just leaps in the air and grabs the ball on the kickoff, but the Dream of Wish Foundation pick up 0 rerolls off the Master Chef. However, Nuffle and his good grace says, you know what? I'll give you 1 extra reroll with brilliant coaching. Let's go. First block of the game is going to be double skulls. Spends a reroll here into double pushes. And now Ivar on the block. Gets a pal. Ivar, the center on the formation. Got the armor break. Gets a removal. Well done by Ivar. 1-man player advantage for the Halflings. 10v9 on the pitch. Sisk says, yep, and then immediately forces the use of the reroll. Yep. Two-die block coming up against Coral Reef number 2. Gets a push out of this. Dream of Wish Foundation moves the ball up to their own 8-yard line. They're going to be under intense pressure almost right from the jump here. That's the end of the turn. A little weak over on the right side here. The ball on their own 8-yard line. Turn 9 now for the Snakes. The Snakes currently in second place. If they win or draw this game, they will advance into first in Division A. Again, the top 2 teams of each of the 3 divisions make the cut to top 8. And then of the remaining teams between all 3 divisions, the 2 top teams of those will also make the cut. So you really want to make sure you get into those top 2 spots. Otherwise, you're competing with a wider pool of coaches to make the cut. Here, you'll need this. Trust me, you'll need this. Two-die blitz over on the right side. Got a push against Charles. Gonna fish for a better result here. Couldn't get it. Used pro to re-roll the skull, but failed the pro roll. Needed a 3+. And that'll be a push here against Charles. Charles can sidestep. And will just get pushed normally back toward the ball. Or to the ball carrier. Good 2+ dodge over on the left side. So this is that early pressure that we were just talking about a few minutes ago here. Fast bashy team against the slower, more brittle team. Not going to give these halflings an opportunity to sort of set up and move down pitch. A rush marks the ball carrier. And the Snakes on the bonus clock with a little over 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Turn 10 for the Dream of Wish Foundation. Big time pressure. They're going to start with a 2-die against Coral Reef number 2. They got the push out of this. Treemen don't have to worry about a nega trait that forces them to lose their turn or lose their tackle zones or not move. Well, I guess not move. It's false. Take root means they can't move. But my point being is they don't lose their activation. Dream of Wish now trying to decide if they're going to move this ball to center pitch and just keep it caged up and continue to fight their way through these elves and maybe slowly move these trees down pitch, or they're going to make a big play right now. So tough against these elves. You take a mark against an elf, they're 2+ dodge away. they don't care. Ralph, the level 4 halfling hopeful, moves to the left side here. 2-die blocked by Ivar. Gets a knockdown on rat number 3. You should always water the trees before the game. Very difficult team to coach, in my opinion, the halfling team. One of the hardest, I think. Two-die blitz against Cottonmouth number 2. Gets the knockdown here. Does not get the knockdown here. Gets a dodge push out of this. But that's okay. Decides to follow up here. Needs to be real careful now. Hoping for the knockdown, but didn't get it. Got the pal finally with the ball carrier. Oh boy. Otherwise, that elf could have just swung around the other side. Claudia says that makes me so nervous. So now, chewed up 3 movement allowance from Cottonmouth. Cottonmouth effectively down to 4. Oh, didn't dodge anyone away. All right, turn 10 for the Snakes now. So that elf did get knocked down, but this gap still wide open here on the left side. Well, not wide open, but pretty significant gap on the left side here. We'll see if the ball carrier stays on their feet. Narrowly open, yeah. Coming up after this game, scheduled to start about 16 minutes from now, but we'll pick it up after this game ends. We're gonna have our third and final game of our triple header this evening. We're gonna have the Tizork Savage Boys versus the World of Cheese, Tizzlebizzle versus James Lake Snacks. That'll be Orcs versus Pro Elves. Partially ajar. Here's the blitz on the ball. Ah, I bit my lip And now it's like swollen, and then that means I just keep biting it. Ah. Good knockdown on the ball carrier here. Stuns the ball carrier, pops the ball out to the 10-yard line. And after, I was going to say a couple, but a few dodges here by corner number 2, marks the ball. Well done. Cleffy says 3 2+ dodges. All 5s. Snuffle saying something, we just don't know what. Now taking marks here with remaining players. Turn 11 for the Dream of Wish Foundation. Tree blitz. 2-die blitz. Gets the knockdown on corn number 2. Looking for an 8+ to break armor here. Oh, he doesn't get the knockdown. That's dodge. He doesn't get the knockdown. He's going to spend a team reroll. Oh, no! Oh, no! Rolled into a dodge push. Spent the reroll looking for the knockdown. Electric says, there's the knockdown. Roll doubles, skulls. Bad turn here for the Halflings. Good stun by Black Mamba number 2 here on turn number 11. Another armor break. This will be another stun. Proudstar, welcome to the stream. Proudstar says, well, hello, I can catch some games. Very good. Yep, we've finishing up this game, and then we'll have another full game this evening. Fishing for the knockdown here against James. Doesn't get it. Oh, Proudstar, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you for your generosity. Good recovery to a handoff here to Snake Plissken. Snake Plissken blessed by Nuffle with the pro skill. That's because he watched Escape from New York, was very impressed with Snake Plissken's abilities to save the president. Yeah, I appreciate it, Proudstar. Thank you very, very much. Good to have you here. Turn 12 for the Dream of Wish Foundation. They've lost possession of the ball here as we are nearing the end of the third quarter. They're down 0-1. They're down to just the 2 rerolls. They have less rerolls than their opponent. Oh, failed to take root roll by the knockdown tree. So that means, so they're not rooted when they're prone. If you're only you're only rooted when you're standing. So this just means he loses his turn with the tree, but he'll be able to stand up the tree on a future turn. Blitz by sponsor Eleanor. 3-die blitz into just a push against the number 3 blitzer Rattler. Dream a Wish has not used Raiding Party all game long. Might be spooked by the bug. No armor break here on the knockdown. Boy, that doesn't look rooted. That looks like you're infected by some sort of alien fungus. 25 seconds to go here for the Dream of Wish Foundation. I don't know what the plan is here. I don't know what they can do. I don't think they can do anything. Tree intestines are hanging out, yeah. Fail the rush, but again has sure feet, gives a free reroll on a failed rush. Going for the foul. 2 assists, 3 assists? 2 assists on the foul. Breaks armor, only gets a stun out of it. Turn 12 now for the Snakes. It's the final turn of the third quarter. They're up 1-0. They can score right now if they wish and bring this up to a 2-0 ball game. Two-die blitz against Ivar. Gets a push. Frenzy follow-up into a two-die. Got the POW this time. No armor break. Nat on eye drops. Yeah, there's the score. Very well done by the Snakes. They increase their lead 2-0. They're going to try to do this again in the next drive as well. Snakes get back 2 knockouts. Clavius, thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate it. So the Snakes to set up with 10 once again. No, 11. They got back their KO. 11v, I think it's still 11v10. Yep. So a one-man player advantage for the NC Snakes. Three on the line for the defense. Shifted to the right here. 3-4-4 on the defense. 3 on the line now for the offense. Just the one back to receive currently. It's Jerry version 2.0. Here's the kick. Middling kick. Oh, it's a timeout. We're going to lose a turn. We're down to turn 14 here in this ballgame. Dream and Wish Foundation down 2 touchdowns. Ivar on the block, a 2-die. Gets a POW here. Breaks armor. Gets a stun. Sponsor Patsy takes root. Keeps the result here. We'll still get the block. 3-die block. Gets the knockdown. Looking for an 8+. Can't follow up due to being rooted. Didn't re-roll it, so the only way that Sponsor Patsy will be unrooted is at the beginning of another drive or if Sponsor Patsy's knocked down. But you can bet Moob is just going to let Sponsor Patsy stand there. And now the blitz on the right side. Gets a push against Coral Reef number 2. Is he going to try to score right here? I think he may. Might try to score with Ralph. Brantley on the pick. No, it's not going to be Brantley on the pickup. So he's going to rush instead for the handoff. Fails the catch. He's going to spin the re-roll. Fails the catch again. Going to bobble the ball into the hands of Charles, which is very unsafe right now. And Charles cannot move. Charles can be thrown, but Charles is already activated, so Charles can't move if he lands on his feet. Clivia says it looks like he may be trying that. Go for the win, Nick. Do it. Doesn't seem to have worked out. So I think he might move Brantley over to the right side of the ball carrier. I think this is going to be a grilled cheese day. I'm going to make a grilled cheese sandwich after these games. Dream and Wish Foundation back on the bonus clock here, trying to figure out what to do at this point. I think the throw teammate pass is out of the question. Oh, I stand corrected. Oh, God. Well, do you call that a successful pass? Sponsor Eleanor succeeds on throwing Charles, just carefully placing them right next to Coral Reef number 2. Got a removal on the foul here. Oh, man. Welp. Went for the pass and said, here you go. Here you go, guys. Could you please block this player? Clappy says, where was he trying to throw the halfling? I don't know. I don't know. Turn 14 for the 6. I wish it would show you. Oh, boy. Well, Charles, good luck to you. He says Tree has a skill issue. So takes the blitz with Cottonmouth, who did not have the tackle skill, spends a reroll, only gets a dodge push out of this. Moccasin did have tackle, but wanted to go with someone who had the block skill instead. Which makes sense, right? That's two faces that would have been, it's two, yeah, two faces that would have been a knockdown. Rush is in a position to keep the ball carrier marked by Moccasin number 2. Ajax Orion says, I think it was supposed to be a halfling torpedo. With the ball? C says the fling's almost back to where it started. 3 seconds left of the clock. That is it. Turn 15 for the Dream of Wish Foundation. Fivey says, does being marked matter for the throw? Yes. Ajax Thoriad says, heck yeah. Mediocre greatness says only when landing. So the throw, if the thrower's marked, yeah. What mediocre greatness said, it counts if the tree is marked. If the thrower is marked, there is a negative modifier to that. It doesn't matter if Charles is marked for the throw. Charles hands off to Ralph, and now Ralph can be tossed by sponsor Eleanor. Levy says, I know the tree being marked is an issue, but is the ammunition being marked an issue? No. If the teammate to be thrown is marked, that's not an issue. Here we go. We're going to try this again. Needs a 5. Spends the final reroll here. Lands on his feet. Let's go. Let's go. He can get to the end zone. 3 rushes. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Very well done by the Dream of Wish Foundation. That's right. Dance. Dance like you've never danced before. The Dream of Wish Foundation gets on the board after the successful fling fling. Go, halflings, go. That's right. See, said guy had more rushes. Yeah, he has sprint. Sprint lets you rush 3 times. Clavius, thank you very much for the bits. He's got carrot Wolverine blades. Yes, he does. Woo! Clavius, thank you very much for the bits. So we're at 10v10 again on the pitch here. With 2 turns left for the Snakes, they can score. They can score in 2. Ajax hoping for the blitz. Hoping for this blitz. So if it is a blitz, Conceivably. The halflings can pull this off. All right, we get an extra turn. Let's go. Tell us, I'm not touching this. I will not interfere. Glavius, thank you very much for the bits. Turn 14 for the Snakes. Would have been turn 15, but it was a timeout. Are they going to get on the board? Will the Halflings be able to tie this ball game? Or will this end 2-1? 2 rerolls left for the Snakes. None for the Dream of Wish Foundation. If the Dream of Wish Foundation is going to tie this game, it's almost certainly going to be in a Halfling fling. Good handoff to Snake Plissken. He's about to dash downfield. Ajax the Riot says, I really hope Ava is going to secretly use the Telestrator of Doom in our match. Who can say? Deny blitz. Double skulls. Have to spend a reroll to get a push out of this. Frenzy follow-up. That will be a knockdown thanks to tackle. Very well played here by the Snakes. Difficult position now for the Halflings. Oh, no, I wouldn't keep it secret. I'd just blatantly say I'm doing it. 9 seconds to go here in turn 14 for the Snakes. They're knocking on the door of a 3rd touchdown. Clifey says, you can say difficult position for the Halflings starting on turn 1 usually. Yeah, that's true. Turn 15 for the Dream of Wish Foundation. Boy, so they need to keep somebody by a tree for the turn 16 toss. They're probably going to have to toss somebody under the... Yeah, they're just going to start with the toss. Get him! He landed on his feet. So tried to actually hit Snake Plissken, but actually marked Snake Plissken instead so he could blitz. Oh, but failed the rush past the dodge, because of course you pass the dodge. Who can't dodge? But rushing, that fails 900% of the time. Turn 15 for the Snakes. They're going to surf Jimmy 4.0. Sorry, Jimmy. Again, that is not SPP for Snake Plissken. Not going to chance the rush here. Going to keep the ball parked on the 24-yard line. It's going to have very good protection on the ball. And Jimmy got his head caved in. Maybe 5.0 will do better. So remember, Charles here cannot get at the ball carrier. It's 3 MA to stand up, 2 + 2 rushes. All they can do, the best they can do is mark the ball carrier. But if, yeah, there's nothing he can do. He can't win. But he might be able to, I mean, it's a very remote chance, but he might be able to stop the score here. Why so many plus signs on the sideline? They're doing math. Yeah, they're doing math. What, you think Halflings don't go to university? They do. They've got homework just like everyone else. Okay. Boo! Boo! Get Clypheus. Dream of Wish Foundation. I don't know if they want to risk Charles' life just to try to stop the score. Looks like they're going to go for the blitz or the block on Moccasin. Got the POW here. Looking for a 9+ for some SPP. Didn't get any SPP out of it. Uphill pile the ball off the pitch. How would they do that, though? How would they get somebody there? So, I mean, I probably shouldn't repeat this because it's just going to show how much of a dork I am. But, so, computers are made up of adders. They're called adders in a processor. And adders are made up of half adders. And I just think halflings with pluses are, this is just, they're just making a CPU. Yeah, he doesn't have sprint. He has a sidestep. Two assists on the foul here. 7+ will break armor. Couldn't break armor. 5-bit adders are all the rage. Turn 16 for the Snakes with 1 reroll left. Will they take a blitz first? Probably so. Here it is. Going after Ivar for some SPP. Got the pal, looking for the 9+. Got the armor break. No SPP out of it, though. They'll walk the ball in once more to finish this game 3-1. Very well done by the Snakes. And with that, the Snakes are going to advance into first place in Division A. Very well done by Move. Congratulations to the NC Snakes. Proudstar says elves of all kinds need to die. You can see you can see Helmet Wolf upset. Oh, the cheerleaders in the background! Hooray! With that victory, the NC Snakes advance into first place here. 19 points they've earned. They are undefeated with just a single draw. Congratulations to Move yet again. We're going to get into our third and final game here this evening in about 20 seconds. Just give me about half a minute to set up, and we'll start this third game.